All right, so there's this new report from IBM, and it makes a pretty huge claim. It says the next 10 years of cybersecurity history, they're going to be written in the next 3. Now, why such a dramatic prediction? Well, it all comes down to one thing: AI. By 2028, artificial intelligence is on track to completely revolutionize the entire security landscape for, well, everyone. So let's dive in and unpack what that really means.
So here's what we're going to cover. We're breaking this down into 5 key parts from the report. First, we'll talk about this 36-month countdown, this real sense of urgency. Then, we'll get into how AI is a double-edged sword. After that, we'll see where companies are actually at, the leaders, the followers, and the ones lagging behind. We'll also dig into the human element, which is super important. And finally, we'll wrap up with a practical roadmap you can think about.
Okay, first up, the 36-month countdown. And I really want to stress this. We are not talking about some distant sci-fi future. This is happening now. The clock is ticking, and that deadline is approaching fast.
And you know, what's so interesting here is that the year 2028 isn't just some random date they pulled out of a hat. Nope. Experts are calling it a tipping point. It's that moment of no return, where AI becomes so deeply woven into security that there's no going back. The countdown has officially begun. So it all boils down to this number, 36 months. That is the window of opportunity. And within that time frame, every single organization is going to find itself on one of 2 paths. There's no middle ground. You're either going to be AI resilient, meaning you've adopted and you're ready, or you're going to be AI disrupted. And that means you've been left in the dust.
And really, the stakes could not be higher. I mean, listen to this quote from Koos Lodewijk, who's the CISO over at IBM. He says, the next 10 years of cybersecurity history will be written by 2028. Think about that. We're not just talking about a small update or a little shift. This is a complete, fundamental rewrite of the entire playbook for cybersecurity. And it's all happening right now. All right, so that brings us to the next big idea, which is that AI is, well, it's a double-edged sword. This whole transformation creates this huge internal conflict, because AI is at the exact same time both our greatest threat and our strongest defense. Let's start with the good news, right? The optimism is it's off the charts. I mean, check this out. A whopping 76% of leaders are convinced that AI agents are going to seriously improve the way their companies operate. They're seeing this future filled with incredible efficiency. And it doesn't even stop there. Another 72% believe AI is the key that's going to unlock a whole new wave of innovation. And that's the dream, right? That's the promise of AI. Smarter, faster, more creative organizations. But, and this is a big but, that's only half the story. Because here's the flip side. For every amazing opportunity AI opens up, it also opens up a brand new vulnerability. Think about it. The same generative AI that can help your team write code for your next breakthrough product, well, it can also write incredibly sophisticated malware for attackers. It's a classic arms race, and the weapons on both sides are getting smarter every single day.
And this puts pretty much every organization on the planet in a really tough spot. It's this critical balancing act. How do you go full speed ahead with adopting AI so you don't fall behind your competition, while at the same time building up the security defenses you need to stay safe? It's a huge challenge.
You know, there's a great quote from Chris Betts, the CISO at AWS, that just nails the mindset you need for this. He says, we have to embrace the chaos and find opportunity in it. And that's exactly it. You can't just stick your head in the sand and hope this goes away. You have to lean into it, accept the chaos, and look for those opportunities that are hiding in plain sight. Okay, so keeping that challenge in mind, where do companies actually stand today? How are they preparing for this shift? Well, the report breaks them down into 3 very different groups: the leaders, the followers, and the laggards. And this is a serious reality check.
And yeah, here's that reality check I was talking about. The divide is huge. Take a look. Only 18%, just under 1 in 5, are considered leaders. These are the ones who are proactively getting ahead of the curve. Then you've got the huge middle chunk, 52%, who are followers. They're kind of playing the waiting game. But maybe the most concerning number is this: 30% are laggards. A full 30% have pretty much no real AI security plan to speak of.
So this is a really good time to just pause for a second and ask yourself a tough question. And be honest, where does your organization fit in? Are you part of that 18% leading the charge? Are you in the middle, following the pack? Or are you in that 30% that's at real risk of being left behind? Okay, so this brings us to our next section:
the human defense system. And this is a point that is so easy to miss. We've been talking all about AI, about technology, but the report makes it crystal clear. The single most important part of your security defense isn't some fancy software. It's your people. Your people are the first line of defense.
And the report gives us a really clear way to think about this. It's a framework they call the ABCs of AI security. It's a super simple but really powerful idea. It goes like this. You start with A for awareness. That awareness then leads to B for new behaviors. And when everyone adopts those behaviors, you get C, a strong security culture. And that culture is what gets you the outcomes you're looking for.
So let's break that down a little more. A for awareness. This just means everyone, and I mean everyone, from the newest intern all the way up to the CEO, needs to understand the specific risks that come with AI. Then B for behaviors. This is where you turn that knowledge into action. A perfect example is teaching people not to copy and paste sensitive company info into a public chatbot. Finally, C is for culture. This is the goal. It's when those good behaviors become second nature, just part of the DNA of how your company works.
All right, so we've covered the ticking clock, the double-edged nature of AI, and the critical human element. So for our last section here, let's put it all together. How do you actually build a roadmap for an AI-secure future? What's the strategic plan?
Well, the plan really comes down to 3 key pillars. Step 1, master the fundamentals. You absolutely cannot skip the basics. Good old-fashioned security hygiene is the foundation for everything. Step 2, innovate with Gen AI. Don't be afraid to use these powerful tools to get a competitive edge. Just make sure you're doing it securely. And step 3, scale with trust. This is where you bring in those ABCs we just talked about, building a culture of security that can grow right alongside your use of AI.
And this really brings us to the ultimate takeaway. Remember Chris Bedds, the AWS CISO? He has another great quote that sums it all up. The business can go as fast as security can keep it safe. In this new world, security isn't the team that slows things down and says no. It's the exact opposite. Security is the enabler. It's what gives the business the confidence to innovate and move at the insane speeds that AI allows. Good security actually makes you faster.
So, here we are, right back where we started, with that ticking clock. That 36-month countdown to the AI tipping point. It's not coming. It's already started. And so the only real question left to ask is, are you ready?